Morning, Trade Pros. Sound check. 1, 2. Hope you guys are having May 1st. Wow, May's kicking off already. I feel like these first 4 months have flown by so quickly with all this madness and nonsense. All right, so there's a saying in the business, pay and go away. So this is a very popular rotation strategy. Go away until the end of the summer on of historical, information on every single month of the last 20 years added up and put side by side. So you're looking at a seasonal chart. Markets see very little price appreciation and more consolidation and sideways moves through May. So May, June, July, August, and then inevitably in September we have the volatility trade where they sell off. Okay, so the next 4 months or so, especially July and August, tend to slow down in the stock markets. Now, for day traders, there's still opportunity. It's a little bit slower. Investors who, have to sit through these redundant cycles, it's kind of frustrating. So that's a strategy and where it comes from. Doesn't mean you can't be day trading. I think these 4 months have an amazing opportunity to day trade. Even if we slow down, we adjust the strategy and we make do. All right. But I don't think this year is going to follow that advice to sell in May and go away. Okay. I think that this year we're going to have a little bit. We were looking at the downside and we got it. It's still continuing today. The read something. Had to stick to the short side yesterday. We finished out the month to the bearish note, and we're continuing downwards today. All right. So that's that. Look at this, the seasonality. In the month of May, the percentage return on average is 0. Okay. The percentage of return on average in 20 years in June is minus 0.6%. The percentage return in July is 0.8%, so a little bit more bullish. August minus 0.2, and then September minus 0.8, down a whole percent almost. You add all those up, and you more or less time stretch on a historical basis in 20 years. This could be different. So he said, I want that shirt. AZ, this is a great shirt. It says TRADEPRO Academy at the bottom, and then on the sleeve, everything ready to launch this online store. But with COVID-19, things are taking longer to ship, and so it's creating a worse experience for you. All this is ready, the swag. It's just we had to delay the plan because, first of all, we got to let other things ship that are more important. Second of all, they're super delayed. I sent one to one of our traders here as a little gift, and man, oh man, did it take. It still hasn't arrived. It's been weeks. So that's not going to be a good experience. So that's why it's not up yet, but they are ready. All right. I'm really excited to launch that as soon as we get back to some level of normalcy, which should be soon. Okay. But great question. Appreciate it. The new ones, the day traders, a little bit versus an expectation of 54.4. They beat their revenue as well. All right. They increased their share repurchase program up to $50 billion and increased dividends to 82 cents a share. At a time when other companies are cutting their dividends and eliminating them altogether and reducing their buybacks, Apple with all this cash flow is increasing, making it a little bit more of an attractive company to own. All right. Their second quarter revenue breakdown, the iPad 4.37 billion versus 4.56. I'm one of those people that got a tablet. I was so excited to get a tablet. It wasn't Apple. I used it like 4 times. It was the greatest waste of money ever. Right. So useless for me anyways, but I always wonder, what are these? They're mostly for kids. I see kids playing on them. It's a great product. Anyway, iPhone 28.69 billion versus 30.89 billion. So iPhone revenues are down. Macs are 5.35 versus 5.69, and their services sector exceeded 13.35 versus 13.2 billion. Here's what I'll tell you about Apple. It's a great company. All right, but a lot of their products are in the mature phase. Okay, how many times are you going to release the same phone with a slightly better camera, and people continue to pay double prices for it? $2,000. What's the next one going to be? $4,000, then $8,000 for a stupid phone. So, anywho, how many times could you do that with existing hardware? And this is why it's exciting to see services grow in app guidance. It said COVID-19 will cause some more strife. All right, Chinese. So regionally, if you look at it, China revenue on Apple is down huge. It was just offset in other areas geographically. All right, looking at Amazon, earnings per share $5.01. Expectation is $6.25. Revenue was $75.5 billion versus $73.61 expected. All right, so online stores and sales exploded across the curve on Amazon. People are at home, they're buying stuff. All right, but what investors didn't like is when Jeff Bezos announced they're going to use the entire $4 billion of operating profit for this quarter to, as he quotes, this is what it says. On responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. If you're a share owner in Amazon, this is Jeff Bezos' quote. If you're a share owner in Amazon, you may want to take a seat because we're not thinking small. All right, that's what he said in his earnings release. So they're going to spend the money to do something on COVID-19 response, and I think that's noble, but at the same time, I don't think shareholders like that one bit. If you're looking for a positive in Amazon, AWS, their online, their Amazon Web Services, which powers like 30% of the internet, more than that now. Remember when AWS went out a couple of years ago and you couldn't access any website? That was a great time for me to go and check who was on AWS. I'm not a coder. I'm sure there's an easier way, but I don't know. So I just started punching on the websites and I'm like, oh, look, they're on AWS. So AWS has exceeded 10 billion for the first time. That's a good thing. Okay. They're still down 4.96 pre-market though. And the reason being is, again, announcing they're going to spend all that profit. That doesn't bode well for a company's value. All right. Thursday's key earnings, other than Apple, Amazon, American Airlines are down 5%. Altria is down 3%. They've wrote off a lot of jewel value, and they literally laid off 30,000 people. Gilead Sciences down 2.6%. McDonald's was flat. Twitter was down 7.8%. Okay, they said that they had a plunging ad revenue spend. United Airlines is down 2% on a huge cash burn, and then Visa pulled their outlook for 2020, the entire year. Forget Q2, Q3, Q4. They're just like, we don't want to deal with this 2020. We're throwing our hands up. Keep using our visas. And so, it's concerning that these companies are pulling their outlooks, but hey, how are they going to make a forecast? If you don't have information, it's tough to make a forecast. So then you're setting yourself up for failure. So I sort of understand. Markets will be a little bit slower today. You might have noticed overnight. Asia's got their May Day celebration. So Japan's down 2.8, but other Asian markets are closed. So there's another quote. So midday at London, Paris and Frankfurt are closed as well. So Europeans done for the week. London's down 2.2, but that, which is the main market in Europe anyways. But if you see a little bit of slower price action today, a lot of key areas are closed around the globe. And, 11:30 a.m. Eastern is that key time when you see some transitions and reversals in price as well because of this. But, there's going to be less people in Europe that do have positions open because they've already closed them out yesterday. Okay, in U.S. futures, Dow and S&P, NASDAQ, everything's down over 2%. Crude oil is down 2.1 to 18.44. Today is also the deadline for the OPEC cut compliance. So you're going to hear about this. And then Donald Trump said, my good friends are cutting 14 million barrels a day or some crap like that. It wasn't 14 million, but in total, they're going to cut with OPEC and Russia's joining on board. I knew that when Donald Trump tweeted that, there had to be some kind of pressure behind the scene. That's a very awkward and weird way to release an announcement. It's like what happens behind the scenes and what's announced is always very different. So now there's a report saying that Donald Trump contacted Mohammed bin Salman, MBS in Saudi Arabia, and said, if you don't cut production, I'm going to pull all the military aid out of Saudi Arabia. Your move. And apparently, MBS actually panicked at that. And as you can see, just a day and a half, 2 days later, there was an announcement made. So that's very interesting to watch. It's not going to help the relationship, but that's a very, very, very interesting thing. And I'd love to see some more details because you don't understand how big that alliance is. Two ways. It's not just one way too. It's not like, Saudi Arabia go, F yourself and let us take over oil. But it's two ways, right? Because Saudi Arabia purchases bonds and they're also the ones selling the petrodollar. They're the ones maintaining the petrodollar because they're selling crude in USD. Saudi Arabia being one of the main exporters, they're not number one anymore, but if they decided to sell crude in yuan, in euros, there's going to be trouble. Okay, but anyways, I don't want to get in that. That's borderline territory for YouTube. They translate everything we say. Today's economic calendar, PMI at 9:45, 10 a.m. we have ISM Manufacturing Index, 10 a.m. construction spending, 1 p.m. Baker Hughes rig count. Gold's up 1% today. Bitcoin's up 1% as well, to 8,800. We're starting the month of May on a slower note, and I think it is time to test the downside. I think we could really open up the downside today. So be careful, sell rallies until you get a reversal of momentum, and how do you find that? Find a level above which you can't sell anymore and mark that on your chart. And keep selling at key levels until you get above that. And if you find the right spots, it's a profitable way to approach the market. All right. You just can't get pulled into the retail mentality of selling lows and buying tops. You're going to get destroyed no matter where you do it. All right. Let me just take some really good some questions really quickly. sell the puts and go away. The short volatility trade never stops, does it? You have to keep buying because they have an expiration date. What's the steaming smoke in front of you? Who asked that? Mickey, man. Mickey, I am safe. This is called a diffuser. And so this is actually peppermint at the moment. Sometimes you use sweet orange, and sweet orange is sweet, and it smells like an orange. So they definitely live up to their branding. Android phones and Chromebooks have a 3 to 5 year expiration date. No more security updates. Amazon COVID-19 plan. Buy every company that goes under for a quarter of the price. Rock Outfitter. You must have sold something on Amazon before. You know, Amazon's got some interesting tactics. They were being looked at. I don't know what's happening with that, with the probe into them, but you know, they're notorious for letting somebody sell products on their network, giving you visibility, and when they catch the data and analyze it, it's profitable, bootleg it, and create their own competing product. Anywho, I don't want to get in that. Amazon's an interesting beast, and it's become a really big beast. I saw somewhere they have like, how many employees? 800 and something thousand employees. Nuts, absolutely nuts. Love you guys. Be careful. Manage your risk, trade pro. Today I'm expecting a little bit of downside early on. Get ready, and have a great weekend. Today's Friday, so I'll see you on Monday. Guys, send you love, joy, and happiness. Be good, be careful, be safe, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Ciao.